I'm gonna try it here as an experiment. I don't have a lot of time, so I think it's a good idea to, try things out a little bit. Let's see how it goes. I know I started it like an impromptu thing. I was gonna do lunch, but then I decided to do this. Hi. You wanna do the social experiment?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Okay, sure.
What's your name?
My name is Shannon.
Shannon, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you. Where are you
Nice to
from?
meet I'm from Toronto, Canada.
From Toronto. Okay,
Yeah.
love it. Shannon, what's your take on oppression?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sounds like a deep. So let me explain. Oppression is cruel or unjust treatment.
Okay.
Do you think oppression should exist? Do you think we should encourage it, or do you think we should try to stop it?
Well, I definitely don't think that we should encourage it.
Okay.
I just wonder if the way that humans are naturally, if it's realistic to think that we could ever not have oppression.
Fair enough, but like, if we could find ways to stop oppression, surely we have kind of sort of a moral obligation to stop it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to individual, I don't mean necessarily like societal oppression or systemic oppression, but rather individual to individual, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could theoretically be cruel or unjust towards you if I have the power to do so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would that be right for me to do that?
I don't believe so, no.
No. What if you were in a state of mind that you wouldn't realize that you're oppressed?
And what kind of state of mind would that be?
I don't know, maybe you're intellectually challenged, maybe you've been drugged or something. Would that mean oppressing you is okay because you wouldn't know that you've been oppressed?
No.
No, okay, I appreciate that, okay. Is there any justification you think is there any way that we can justify ever oppression?
I don't think that there would be.
No, I think so too. And do you think this applies just to humans, or do you think animals? Should animals be oppressed?
No. I don't believe so, but I guess what's your definition of oppression, and how are
Cruel
animals
and unjust.
how are animals different in terms of maybe an emotional level?
Yeah.
I'm just speculating here.
Yeah, so you do acknowledge that animals have emotions, right?
I mean, I'm assuming that some of them do, like dogs, for example, and,
Yeah.
and ones that are more domesticated. But I also am not a biologist or an animal scientist, so I can't say for utmost certainty that all
Fair enough.
animals have that.
Yeah, but as you said, dogs have it, right? How do you know that dogs have emotions?
Having a dog myself, I think being around dogs and seeing how they respond sometimes to humans' emotions can give you an idea or a clue. I mean, they can't talk for themselves,
Yeah.
so you can't say for sure that they do have emotional, but I think what we know of humans' emotions, we can sometimes see that in animals too.
Exactly. And do you think it would be okay to oppress a dog if you had the option to?
I don't know why I would have an option to oppress a dog, but I wouldn't
As in to be
do
cruel
it.
and unjust towards
I
them.
wouldn't, if an opportunity presented itself, I would not take that.
What if you benefited from it?
I mean, I don't see how I would benefit from oppressing an animal.
Well, you could eat their flesh and you would
Yeah.
benefit from it, right?
My bus is leaving right now.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Let me just give you a card real quick, okay? I appreciate you stopping by. I immediately I wanted to end up talking more about like animals that we usually oppress, like the cows, the chickens, and the pigs.
I kind of figured that's where you were going with that.
Yeah. And I just heard you one thing. Go on this website, type in this code, they'll ask you for a code. It's VPLYT.
Okay.
And watch the most important speech you'll ever hear, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Hello, everyone. Vincent, I finally don't have to feel guilt about the suffering anymore, says Vincent. Does that mean, Vincent, you're vegan? Awesome, vegan. Awesome, Vincent. I'm happy to have you here. Hey, Martin, nice to see you here. We're trying out the new location. We'll see if we get a lot of people. We got this girl here because she was waiting, and she's like, you know what, if I'm waiting, might as well try this. We don't have a lot of time here. I do have to get back to work. It is a Tuesday, so I am working today. But I thought it would be interesting to, I don't know, see how else other locations are going. Angelo says, what up, homie? Hello, Angelo. Martin, you're a moderator. I don't know if there's any other moderators right now in the chat. I'll ask you one thing, just as an experiment for today. do not time out anybody unless they're like spamming emoticons, like emojis. Don't spam out absolutely anybody. Let's just see what happens. No spamming of everybody, because I've been looking at the statistics. The viewers have been going a little bit down, and we need, the reason why I do these live streams is that it reaches more people, so that the arguments get to more people, and we need more of that. Nick, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Sorry I've been away. Keep up the great work. Nick, I appreciate you being here either way. Ben is my name, says hello. Hello, Ben. Hello. How are you, Ben? How is Ben is your name? How are you doing? Is it a good day for you today? How is everybody doing actually? I'm just wondering, like, is it a good day for everybody? Tango Mango says, I was thinking about going vegan, then I went to sleep until that feeling passed. So you were thinking about respecting animals, but then all of a sudden you said, I'll go to sleep, and then when I'll wake up, I'll continue the oppression towards them. Okay. I don't know why you would do that, but okay. Because I have social anxiety, which made it almost impossible to go outside for me, so I had to eat what my mother made, said Vincent. Oh, I see, that's why it was difficult. I have DACA immigration problem in USA. Oh, that sounds bad. I'm sorry you're going through that. I know US immigration is kind of a mess right now. And sadly, I don't think it's going to get better in the next 4 years, but, maybe at some point. You want to try a social experiment? Just got here, says Ash, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just holding a sign right now that says I'm doing a social experiment, come talk to me. And I'm inviting people to have a conversation with me, and where we're going to be discussing animal ethics pretty much. Ben is my name, says I eat processed food not by choice. That's okay. So Ben, if you're forced to eat something, I don't think like it's about choices, right? If you're forced to eat something, I don't think, like, if somebody were to be forcing me to eat human meat, I wouldn't be at fault there, right? So if somebody's forcing you to consume animal flesh or animal products or products coming from animal oppression, it's not really your fault. But if you can make the choice, then I would argue you should be making the choice, because otherwise you would be choosing for oppression, which, nobody wants to be in that position. My economics, I have low income. Ben is my name. What if that wouldn't be an issue for you anymore? What if you could thrive on a plant-based diet according to your budget? You want to try a social experiment? Hey Pia, nice to see you here. Unfortunately, there's also another person who's trying to get people. It looks cold. It is a bit cold. But unfortunately, there's another person here who's trying to get people to sign, and I think it's Doctors Without Borders. Yeah, it's Doctors Without Borders. They're trying to get people to donate for Doctors Without Borders. Hey, I'm not getting people to donate at all or anything. I'm just trying to get people have conversations with me. Maybe she'll have the conversation with me eventually. I like to eat a balanced diet, says Tango Mango. Well, a balanced diet can be both plant-based and not plant-based. So why would you choose for a balanced diet to be not plant-based? Why would you choose to oppress sentient beings when you can choose not to? Alley Cat says, I have a question. Alley Cat, I think it's easier if you just put the question instead of saying, I have a question, and then waiting until you put the question. Where's this place? We're here. This is a market. It's called Albert Kuip Markt. It's a street that's also a market throughout the day. It's in Amsterdam. Hence the big Dutch flag, I think, right here. Huh? You see it, this. We should respect food, though. Finish everything in the plate, be it meat or veggies. I don't know about that. I don't really care about that. There is no... So wait, you think we should respect food, but we shouldn't respect animals? Isn't that kind of weird? Just saying. Are you married? No, of course not. Why would I be married? I don't want to sign a legal contract. Hi.
What's this about?
I just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit.
I'm scared but intrigued.
Are you okay being live from my
Yeah,
YouTube
sure.
channel? What's
Yeah.
your name?
Johan.
Johan. Nice to meet you. I'm Chip. Where are you from?
Chip.
Yeah.
Singapore.
Singapore. Okay,
Yeah.
Johan, how do you feel about animals?
Animals? Love them.
Love them.
Love them.
Do you think that animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
But then that would, I guess, in the system that we live in, that would mean that they would need to have a say in things, which they can't. So I guess we need to have some kind of representation for them, which is something I'm completely behind.
Yeah.
And
Also, you think animals should have a representation?
Yeah, of course.
They should have a voice, right? And
I
something
mean,
in the
we all
matter.
live on the same planet, don't we?
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Exactly. We all. So, do you think oppressing animals is that justified? And by the way, oppression means cruel and unjust treatment. Could oppression of animals ever be justified?
So oppression, would you say that's also like agriculture, like that would be cruelty, like in.
Do you think
How
it's
about-
cruel?
But how about like organic agriculture? Like,
Do
is
you
the-
think it's cruel? Is it? Let me ask you this: is it
Mm,
cruel
raised
to
for
bring
slaughter.
somebody into existence just so that you can kill them?
That's a valid point. Because I mean, personally, I do eat meat.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
I understand that. Yeah.
And also I understand the other side. I think the meat industry is cruel. What it does is out of hand. It's just all for like numbers and profits. But at the end of the day, these animals, like, there's a standard in the sense like it's fine to kill a cow, but you can't kill a dog, right?
But what is that?
But yeah,
standard?
exactly. That's why I'm also like,
yeah.
why is that? Why do we
Yeah.
draw the line in there?
Yeah, exactly.
When it should be like consistent across the board. right?
Yeah, so when it comes to, let's say, as you said, right, killing an animal,
Mm.
should we really care about the species that animal was born?
No, however, I just play the devil's advocate here.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say that aren't we also omnivores as well? That we also
What does omnivores mean to you?
like we eat both meat and vegetables.
yeah, that we can, right?
We can.
Doesn't mean that we need both,
True.
right? Like
mean-
knowing that we can thrive on a plant-based diet,
Mm.
wouldn't that mean that, sure, we could theoretically consume their flesh,
Yeah.
but if we don't need to and we find it cruel, doesn't that mean that we shouldn't participate in it?
True. However, I would say that I think my mom always told me everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So I think that there is some kind of middle ground.
To you, right?
To me, at least.
Yeah,
Maybe
'cause-
we won't agree here, but to me, at least, it's like let's not eat meat every day.
But what about to the animals that are exploited and slaughtered for you?
Right.
Is there middle ground when you choose to exploit and slaughter them?
It's true.
Even once a month. Let's say you do it once a month.
Right.
In that once a month, that one animal that goes into a slaughterhouse for
Mm.
you, do you think for them it was a middle ground that you chose?
That's valid. Then I would say on the other side of the coin, I mean, like there's a food chain, and like I mean, if we're not there, yes, we accelerate this food chain.
Yeah.
But every day, I mean, there's predators and prey, right? And
We have to be on the other
I
side,
thought I
right?
heard my name. Sorry.
No worries.
And I think that yes, we do accelerate it in a industrial scale that is unfair to the animals and it's cruel. But I also think that there's also like a natural selection in a sense of like animals do die every day. And
They die, but they're not killed every day,
Right.
right?
I
There's
mean,
a
they're
difference
killed
between
by-
dying and getting killed. And there's an argument to be said that in nature, the killings that happen for animals usually happen out of need. Whether it's protecting the land that they have, whether it's killing them to eat them, all of it is done out of some form of need.
Yeah.
Not because we want to or because we get some form of pleasure from it, like taste pleasure, like we do it, right?
Right.
For us, it's convenience and pleasure. And either way, like even if it were in nature that it were to happen also out of convenience and pleasure, is that like, it seems like we don't really follow nature for a lot of things. Why would we follow it
True.
for this one, right?
valid point.
I mean, you flew here. You as a human shouldn't
did,
be able to
yeah.
fly, right?
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
So I'm just like, you already defied nature by being here. We're defying nature by communicating our message to hundreds
True.
of people right now on the internet, right? So I feel like we don't really listen to nature, and if we use nature as justification for everything that we do, then surely we could use it in all other situations also, right? Like lions killing their babies because they reject them should be a justification for any human being to say, well, I reject my babies, therefore I could kill them. Would that be a good enough moral justification to do so?
I don't think so.
No, so we cannot really use it as justification to commit other atrocities that we want to do, right?
That's valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you think you have some responsibility in the matter of these animals being exploited? And
Yeah, I do. This I mean, from my point, I try to do this whole middle ground that I talked about, but I also see where you come from. That the animal doesn't have a middle ground. So
Yeah. Do you think
I
that
get
these animals would call you an animal lover? The animals that are being
No.
exploited and slaughtered for you?
No.
No. And who do you think should decide whether you're an animal lover or not? As you called yourself from the beginning. I'm trying to show you the contradiction. in
Yeah,
the-
no,
in the
I get
things
that. I get that.
Yeah. If I call myself a female lover, let's put it this way,
Sure.
right? A woman lover, and then I oppress women from time to time, can I still call myself a woman lover?
Right.
I cannot, right?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, I came into this animal lover, like, saying yes,
Yeah.
like, I think, like, I love dogs and cats, like,
Yeah.
like the domesticated ones. But I guess it's about that double standard, right, that we talked about earlier as well. Like,
I think that if you were to interact with a cow or a
Mm.
pig, and you were to see just how gentle and beautiful creatures they are, you probably would love them too. But you know, these industries, they keep all this away from us.
Yeah.
They keep them in tight containers. There's a reason why the slaughterhouses have such big fences that sometimes they're better guarded than prisons. It's because people shouldn't be looking inside of them.
Right.
So animal agriculture hides all of this stuff from you, just so that you don't form these connections with them, because then otherwise they couldn't make money.
Yeah,
they
you
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
buy it.
selling you stuff.
Right.
Exactly. But having this rational conversation with me, knowing that, for example, pigs are actually more intelligent than dogs. There's been instances of pigs gathering flowers and bringing them back to their house to decorate their house, which is, fuck,
Beautiful.
that's quite nice and quite a level of intelligence. So knowing this, like, intellectually, would this not be a good enough justification for you to stop putting animals into slaughterhouses?
probably. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. So how many more animals should be exploited and slaughtered for you before you change?
I don't know. If you put it like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the right answer should be zero.
Exactly. Because so the reason why I pose this question is not necessarily because I want you to feel bad or something, but rather because a lot of the times the choices that we're making, we're just seeing the product, but
Right.
we're not seeing the victim behind the product. And I feel like if you think about this question, you realize that there are victims behind those products and there are victims behind your choices. And you could always choose differently, couldn't you? Right? Have you ever heard of being vegan?
I have. Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Personally, I feel like I love cheese a little too much, and milk. However, I do see the exploitation there as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know what happens to dairy cows?
They just get over.
Oh, that's just the smallest
yeah,
part of
it's
it.
the iceberg. I can imagine.
Yeah. So why do you think they make milk in the first place? Biologically.
kids?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you think they have babies when they want to, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers decide.
Yeah. So they do artificial insemination. It's called. They forcefully inseminate them. Somebody has to jerk off a bull. They get the semen, and then somebody puts their hands in the anus of a cow, hold their cervix, and inject bull semen in their vagina.
But,
If we did that to a human being,
yeah,
that would be pretty messed up, right?
pretty messed up.
When the babies are born, 9 months later, what do you think happens to them?
Well, they don't get. I mean, the milk is not for them.
Exactly. So they're not allowed to be with their mother, so they separate them from their mother so that they don't drink the milk.
Shit.
If they're male, what do you think happens then? Let me just prefix this by telling you that the cows that are raised for meat are different than the cows that are
Right.
raised for dairy. They're different breeds. So obviously the males would be classed as useless to them. So what do you think they do to them?
Slaughtered.
Slaughtered, exactly. In the Netherlands here, where animal welfare is pretty high,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of cases where they were left to starve to death because, you know, for them it's a product. They're gonna kill them anyway, and they're like, might as well let them die. It's the same thing. And yeah, the females, same fate as their mother. Every year impregnated, every year milked, and every year baby stolen from them. And at some point they kill them. Do you know when?
When no more milk comes out.
When they can no longer get them pregnant. And that happens after 6 to 8 repeated impregnations, so 6 to 8 years. And they can live 24, 25 years, so a third of their lifespan. It's pretty bad, huh?
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. So then now if I ask you now, do you know why people go vegan now?
Yeah, no, it's valid. Yeah,
Right.
with all this in mind, yeah, of course.
Because we respect animals. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Veganism is a moral principle of respecting animals. And as a consequence, of course, there's the diet, there's not wearing leather and all this kind of stuff. But it's about the animals. It's not
Yeah,
about our
I
choices.
understand that.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
Sorry, I do need to run a little bit.
Sure.
Just came to
Let me
to
just
see
give
what
you a
this is about.
card.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
seem like an open-minded person. Can I just give you a video to watch and you'll...
Sure.
Can you hold this?
Oh
for a
yeah,
second?
of course.
So if you go on this website,
Okay.
truemovies.wf, they'll ask you for a code. Type in this code,
Okay.
and you'll find there a thing called the most important speech you'll ever hear,
Okay.
or Dominion. It's the first 2 videos. Give one of those two a watch, okay?
Okay.
And if you decide that you don't want to be part of it, you have several resources to help you there, okay?
Okay.
I hope
Thanks
that
so much,
you
Trips.
show compassion.
Yeah,
and
I
fairness,
appreciate this
okay?
conversation.
Yeah, I
Thanks
appreciate it.
I learned a lot today. Thank
Yeah,
you.
nice. Have a good one. Well, part of it is trying to get people to know a little bit more about what it is that they're paying, so we have to let people make their choices on their own, right? But vegans are pretending to eat meat. I don't get that. But vegans are pretending to eat meat. Well, we eat plant-based meat, again, because plant-based meat does not come from oppressed animals. It's about the animals. Hey, Dracolom, nice to see you here. I think, Dracolom, you were the first last time to comment, right? Congratulations on that. Yay, Dracolom, shout out to Dracolom. Vincent says Dominion was the video that made me vegan. Oh, that's good to know. I'll recommend Dominion more than to people. It is pretty... It's a difficult movie to watch, Vincent. It is. Cow milk is made for the baby cows, exactly. Hey, DLTN, nice to see you here. Yeah, and vegans, exactly. Vegans don't hate, like, we don't hate meat or animal products in general. We hate the exploitation, abuse, and slaughter behind those animal products. And then you learn the fact that animal agriculture cannot exist without exploiting animals. It's a system that inherently depends on the exploitation of animals, and thus, animal agriculture will always be exploitative. So you just need to reject it. You need to reject all of it, all their products, whether they're for food, clothing, anything. I bet he wonders why we degrade, abuse, and bully him and other vegan betas. Hey, I'd rather be a vegan beta, which is a fair and compassionate individual who shows mercy and compassion and fairness towards the defenseless, voiceless, sentient individuals that the animals are, than be an alpha male. Look at me, I'm an alpha. I will kill any innocent sentient being. Oh, look at that little pig. I will snap their neck because I'm little strong and eat their flesh. Come on. Just be an average, normal person and respect animals. That's it. Animals need their lives more than you need seconds of mouth pleasures, says Renee. Renee, absolutely well put. Love it. Kier says, come on, Chip, act serious. Yeah, I'll acting serious. All this alpha beta thing is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Honestly, like, how insecure are you about your own masculinity that you have to call yourself an alpha and you have to oppress innocent sentient beings, tiny creatures, way smaller than you, who have no way to defend themselves, that you have to oppress them so that you feel superior or like an alpha? That's insane. You must have some real confidence issues or real self-esteem issues if you actually go that route. And if you do have that issue, and I'm sorry that you do, you know, there's people suffering from it, I would argue, please don't punish others for it. Don't be an alpha where you were dissing animals, dissing women, or dissing anything else just because you need to feel superior. Just go to therapy. It will help out. Yeah, alpha male is such crap anyways. No such thing, exactly. I like meat, but who cares if we are alpha or whatever? Exactly. There's no point. There's no such thing. It's a dumb thing. It's something somebody invented so that they feel superior over others. What's up, Chip? Hey, Wade. Nice to see you here. I don't even know. The problem is that I'm kind of in the middle here, so there's people coming from that side and people coming from the other side. So I'll be sitting on both sides. Tango Mango says Jesus ate meat. Yeah, sure. No, I don't think so. But whatever. You can believe that if you want. I don't really care. Jesus did a lot of other things also that weren't necessarily right. You guys want to try a social experiment?
Yeah, do.
Depends. How long is it gonna take?
How long do you have?
Well, I have 10 minutes.
Sure, we can do that in 10 minutes. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. How many people watching?
Like 100?
Hey. No. Never
No?
mind, sorry.
Oh, okay, that's no worries. Problem is also it's a metro station right here. Oh, brother. I don't know what it is with people nowadays, just like using Jesus to defend the worst shit that they can commit ever. Like, oh, sure, Jesus. Do you think Jesus would send animals to slaughterhouses? Do you think Jesus, if Jesus had the option between killing an innocent sentient being and not, he would choose to kill them? He would choose to cut their throat for pleasure? You know, I think there is a sin called gluttony in your Bible right there, right? Gluttony really refers to this. You should not be using your taste pleasure or anything to dictate immoral actions. And it is immoral to force animals into slaughterhouses when you don't need to. Why do you use the word exploitation? Because it is exploitation. Animals never consent to being used. It's you're using them against their consent and to their own detriment, because when you can no longer use them, you know what you do to them, you kill them. That was the name, right? Farmer something, the farmer's wife. You know what you do to animals, you kill them when you can no longer use them. Is that not exploitative? Bringing them to life so that you can use them and then kill them, is that not exploitative? Hey Keisha, nice to see you here. Appreciate you being here. Veganosaurus. Oh, thank you for the €5. Oh my God, everybody just helping out. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It helps. It helps. Let's just put it this way. It helps. Hey, Erwin. Nice to see you, Erwin. I'm happy you're here. Keisha says, we appreciate you for going out there so much, says Keisha. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not going to stay for a long time today. I'm going to try to go around an hour and a half, so it's been already 30 minutes. The reason for that is because I have to go back to work. And I always pass by this location on my way to where I normally sit. And I thought there were a lot of people back then. Now there's not as many people anymore. And I thought it would be a good location just to try things out a little bit differently. So let's see. I still don't have my cards yet, so yeah. DJ Ara says, I was sat down at a park in Bristol earlier and 2 ducks came up and sat by me. Oh my God, that's so cute. 2 students can denote. 2 students came to take a photo of them, so I used the opportunity to outreach and gave out them outreach cards. Heck yeah, that's an amazing opportunity. Seeing people interact with animals in general is a good opportunity to discuss animals in general. Because when you interact with an animal, I feel like a lot of times when we see a cute dog, see a cute animal, we just smile. That's it. We see a cute animal and we smile. You know why? Because it reminds us of the innocence, of the beauty that we think they feel. Because I think they feel. I think they're just individuals who just go a lot by emotions. They don't have as much ration as we do. They still think like we do, but not as much as we do, right? We tend to we even have overthinking after all. And when we interact with an animal, it just brings this happiness within it. It kind of reminds us of who we are, of our emotions and stuff. So, yeah, it's a good moment to remind them that, well, you see all these animals, they deserve to live. They shouldn't be exploited and slaughtered just so that we can get money or optional products out of it. We don't need to do it, so let's not do it. Taterman says, I see a pig and smile because I love bacon and chops. Yeah, Taterman, yeah, it's kind of fucked up to say, imagine seeing a woman and smiling because you think you can use them somehow. That's basically what you're saying. You see a sentient being, a beautiful sentient being, a cute sentient being, and you're thinking of how you could use their body to get taste pleasure. That's pretty fucked up. That wasn't a straw man. That's literally what you said. Oh, brother. It's the funniest thing is when people bring out like they bring out logical fallacies that they can't easily identify themselves. What exactly was I strawmanning? Your whole argument was that when you see a pig, you think of the food that you get from slaughtering and exploiting that pig. That's essentially what I just told you in a different words, where I actually encompassed the perspective of the victim also. Michael Thompson says, you look delicious. Thank you, Michael Thompson. And if I ever give you consent to eat me, you can eat me. Otherwise, please don't. Pia says, remember to hit the like. Thank you, Pia, for that reminder. Chip, in addition to animals not being able to consent, it's worth clarifying that all the cruel farming practices done to them are done for selfish reasons and not the best interests of the animal. Hashtag freedom, you are 100% on point on that one. And also, it's extremely fucked up that farmers claim that they care about animals, yet at the same time farmers have different ways of farming animals, and ones are more, well, in their own words, by the way, I think all of them are unethical, but in their own words, some are more ethical than others. So then why are you even doing the ones that are unethical then? Why don't you just do the ethical ones in the first place if that's your position? You guys want to try a social experiment? Who cares? Animals are delicious. If I don't want to be eaten, they should be less tasty. 5PH5187. That's something you could say also about humans.
They just convinced me to.
Are you okay
join.
being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What's your name?
I'm Alex.
Nice to meet you. I'm Chip. You guys want to join too?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So I'll ask you this. Well, how do you feel about animals, Alex?
I like to eat them.
You like to eat them?
Yeah.
Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should
Yeah.
consider their well-being.
Well, it depends. If you just use them as food and not that over-consuming, it's fine. But if you just do this to get more money, then maybe there should be some
Why do you think farmers
Some
farm
line.
animals? For money, right?
partially. They
fully
also
for
got
money.
It's not only for
It's a
money.
business.
Yeah, sure. Of course, it's business, but if you
So in your world-
if you see the waste of the animal, it's also used to as dung
Yeah.
for the fields.
Yeah.
Mostly previously. Now
Yeah.
they are mostly forced
you
to
mean
use
manure?
chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, as fertilizer
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And they are forced to do that.
What do you mean they're
More and
forced to
more.
do that?
I
They're
don't.
forced to do
I'm,
what?
I'm, for example, for Germany.
Yeah.
In Germany, I've already talked to some farmers. They are partially forced to use chemical fertilizers, so they cannot use the waste of their animals
It's
to
very good. Very
fertilize.
good. That's very good, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's not only in Germany like that. I think it's Europe-wide that it's forced them to do that. I don't know the whole story behind it, why they are forced to do that, but
So you mentioned that you eat animals.
Yes.
How do you morally justify slaughtering innocent animals for products that you don't need?
well, the products I buy, I eat them.
You eat
That's-
them, but you don't
yeah.
need to, right? Like imagine this: if there were human meat in a supermarket,
Yeah.
coming from exploited and slaughtered humans, I could choose to buy those, but when I do, I essentially am paying for other humans to be exploited and slaughtered. I don't
Yeah.
need to buy them, just like you don't need to buy the meat of
Of course,
exploited
but
and slaughtered
yeah,
animals.
Of course, but that would be cannibalism.
And this is carnism. Naming it doesn't necessarily mean
yeah,
anything,
but
right?
carnism isn't necessarily something bad because
It is. To the animals, it is.
The human being is.
What about to those animals that are exploited and
Yeah.
slaughtered for you? Do you think it's bad for them?
I don't think they even got the conscience to realiase that.
Okay,
they
let's
are
put it this
being
way. You said
slaughtered.
cannibalism is bad. Cannibalism is bad to the victim, right? To the humans
It's
that
not
are
only to
slaughtered.
the victim. It's your body.
Let's assume you could eat meat, right? Not your body. It's only bad for the victims. That's why cannibalism is
No.
bad.
Your for your body, it's bad if you eat human flesh.
No, there's certain flesh you can eat without having. As long as you cook it, you wouldn't have any issues.
Yeah, sure, but there
Yeah.
are also parts of the human body that
Yeah.
will cause
Sure, but let's imagine the part that you
illness.
could eat the parts that
Yeah.
don't cause that, right?
Yeah.
So in the situation where you could eat human bodies, right? Why would
it-
carnism
it-
bad?
it
Why
hap-
would
it
why would
happens,
the
it happens.
why would cannibalism be bad in your own worldview?
For me, it's a moral thing.
It's an immoral thing.
Yeah.
Why is it immoral?
For me, it's a moral thing.
But why is it immoral?
For me, it's wrong to eat people.
Why?
Because that's. I think it's just wrong to eat people, and partially it's because.
But explain to me why. I'm an alien. I don't know why people don't eat people. I don't know. So please explain to me.
Mostly it's because you will get ill.
Because you get ill.
There are some
if
illnesses that are combined with consuming
so it's still
human
about
flesh.
you, right? So what if I just killed a human without eating them? Would that be okay?
Well,
I don't
people
get
are-
ill.
Yeah, that's, where do you draw the line? In the war, people die. If you don't have to kill the people, you don't have to kill the people.
Okay, so wait, if you don't have to kill somebody,
Yeah.
it's immoral to kill them.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if this person that you're killing doesn't realize that they're even alive? They're intellectually challenged. They really have a problem with their brain. Would that be okay for me to kill them?
Do you mean to kill them to eat them, or to kill them as?
No, I
as
just
a
want to
part,
kill
as-
them, and maybe I'll eat them afterwards, maybe not, but I just want to kill
Well,
them.
that's a moral thing. That's for
It's
me,
immoral?
it's not right.
Okay, so then why is it immoral to do that to a intellectually challenged human being, but it is moral to do that to an animal? What's the difference?
Because I think if I need to kill an animal to eat it, for me it's fine. I can live
If you
with
need
that.
to, but you don't need to.
That's part of nature.
In the same situation, but you
that's
don't
part,
need to.
That's part of nature.
So is
Go-
killing
go
other
to-
humans,
go
but
to
in other
animals.
situations.
Every predator, if he
You're not a
wants to
predator.
eat,
You don't
well,
go
human-
and hunt a gazelle. You go into a supermarket and pick a product off of a
because we are that far advanced. But
no.
quite some time ago,
Well, what's the difference between a
people-
human and an
people have
animal
been-
that justifies killing one but not the other for optional products?
It's a moral thing. It's just a moral
Why?
line. Where do you draw the line?
Why
Yeah,
is it
that's-
immoral? Do you just draw lines arbitrarily? So if I say that,
No.
where are you from?
Origin. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, you said you're from Germany. What if I say that people from Germany deserve to die? It's just the line that I draw. Is that moral?
That's
No, because
complete
morality.
different things. No,
because
no,
morality
no.
needs to have logic, and your morality has no logic.
Oh,
Your morality has no logic because you cannot justify oppressing innocent animals for optional products.
the thing is, people previously always
People
have been
previously
eating,
have been doing-
animals. Have been eating animals.
Up until 200 years ago, there was slavery around the world for
Okay.
always.
Uh,
That
the
doesn't mean that it
human-
was
the human,
moral.
The human brain, for example, needs animal fats.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I'm a certified
It does.
nutritionist, it
It
doesn't.
does. It does.
That's anti-scientific. That's literally what not.
No, that's not.
Show me evidence that the human brain requires animal products.
Vegetarians and vegan people, over time, over quite
Yeah.
a long term,
Yeah.
5 to 10 years.
Oh,
they
exactly like me, yeah.
They start to develop deficiencies that they have to.
Oh, look at that, I
to
have no
take in
deficiency.
with supplements.
Look at that, I have no deficiency, so you're obviously wrong. God damn it, I have to move. Sorry everybody, I'll have to move now because this guy is... Can you guys hear me by the way? Yeah, English only actually. You wanna try it?
Sure.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Okay.
What's your name?
Ava.
Ava, I'm Chip. Where are you from?
I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Love it. So Ava, how do you feel about animals?
I love animals, especially cats.
Especially cats.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions are impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
Yes, I think they were here before us, so we should consider them more.
Exactly, exactly. So do you think then oppressing animals, that means being cruel and unjust towards them, is that okay?
No.
No, okay. Do you think that maybe when we choose to oppress animals, for example, for food or for clothing, we are essentially being cruel and unjust towards them?
Yeah.
Are you vegan yourself?
I try my best to be vegetarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask why?
Just because I don't think hurting animals for my own well-being is.
Okay, so you are trying it for the animals.
Yeah.
But when you say vegetarian, are you still consuming like dairy products and eggs?
Sometimes just for like the protein aspect of it. Yeah.
But do you know what dairy cows go through and what has to happen for them to produce milk?
Yeah, I try to buy like more locally where I know where it's coming from.
But even in those situations, do you know what happens there?
Not always, no.
So why do you think cows produce milk in the first place?
Sorry, what was that?
Why do you think cows produce milk in the first place, like biologically?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably because it's good for humans.
Why would you produce milk?
Because it's good.
If you started producing milk, when would you start producing milk? You
I
as
probably wouldn't.
you as a human female.
Oh, like when I give birth.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So cows need to do the same thing. They need to give birth, right?
Yeah, true.
So in order to get pregnant, do you think that they decide when they want to get pregnant, or do you think farmers decide for them?
Farmers probably decide for them.
Yeah. So they it's called artificial insemination, and it's true, they sexually exploit them to get them pregnant.
That's unfortunate.
When the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They probably do the same things to them. When
The
they
first
grow
thing
up.
that they do is separate them from their mother,
Oh.
because we have to take the milk, and they would drink the milk if they would stay with their mother.
Oh, I don't. That doesn't happen all the time, does it?
It happens all the time. It's just a matter of time when some farmers separate them directly at birth, and some keep them for a couple of months and then separate them.
I see.
But they always get separated. If they're born male, what do you think happens to them? They're classed as a waste product.
I'm not sure.
They don't produce milk.
They just make them for burgers.
They kill them. And if they're born female, same as their mother, every year impregnated, and at some point they kill them. Do you know when?
No,
When they can no longer get them pregnant.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So that happens around a third of their lifespan.
Oh,
So do you see why being vegetarian and saying you do it for the animals is not enough?
yes, but like we're all. It's this life cycle, so I
This
think.
isn't life cycle. This is something you can choose. You can choose to be vegan and not oppress any animals, right?
But you're not gonna make the whole world be vegan.
Doesn't really matter. You're not going to make the whole world vegetarian also, right? So you
Yeah.
chose to be vegetarian even if the whole world wasn't vegetarian. So what I'm saying is you chose to be vegetarian for the animals, but that's logically inconsistent, because if you were doing it for the animals,
Yeah, I think there's bigger problems.
there's bigger problems than innocent sentient beings being exploited and slaughtered for you. Oh, what a hypocrite. Jesus Christ. Wow. It's always an issue, huh? Can you go? Oh, I have to move. This music is so fucking loud. It's right next to me. I really have to move. It's horrible. She literally didn't care. Yeah, exactly. She didn't care. Finally, some silence. Yeah, Linda. You can't imagine how loud it was there for me. Oh, horrible. Well, the good thing is that while I'm here, I'm literally in the middle, and I put the signs. I have 3 signs that says I'm doing a social experiment, and I put all 3 on the tripod. So now let's see. I don't need to hold anything theoretically, but although I think it would be better if I'm holding something, so I'll just hold this one myself. Hey, Miss Katie, nice to see you here. I love you too. True animal lovers learn something new and decides to fuck animals. There's more important things. Exactly. Imagine that. She's like, I'm vegetarian for the animals. And then I say, but you understand why that's logically inconsistent. You would be, it's like me saying, I only abuse some women, but I'm a feminist. Imagine that.
They took a group picture and I just stood in the back. So I couldn't talk about it.
Heckcow718. The only reason why in this stream today that we will be silencing people is if you spam emojis, and I saw you spamming emojis. Please don't spam emojis. That's it. You can try to have conversations, you can try to talk. Hell, you can even repeat some of the things that you're saying. Just don't spam emojis. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't bring anything. You're just trying to cloud otherwise conversations that are being had in the chat. You guys want to try a social experiment? Hey, smart man, nice to see you here. Lodi, I said it the same, Lodi. I just announced it that if you're going to be spamming emojis, you're going to be silenced. Hey, James, nice to see you here. Why are farm animals now more important than other animals that are killed to get plants, says Marsol. Marsol, I can explain to you very easily, not that one is more important than the other, but rather that one system needs to be abolished before the other. And let me explain it this way. Sure, plant agriculture does have inherent, does have incidental or accidental victims, but those are victims coming out of the desire to protect your crops. People just see a vertical video and they assume TikTok. Those are coming from... They're talking about... Sorry, everybody. I just listened to some of the conversations that people are having, and these three girls pass by me, and they're like talking about me, as if I wasn't even here. That's funny. So yeah, as I was saying, there's incidental and accidental death. There's the intent behind those killings, right? Like when you kill an animal to protect your crops, you do it to protect crops. You don't want to kill that animal. And a lot of the times crops, in crop production, they don't actually try to kill animals. They actually try to defer them. They try to say, you know what, stay away. I don't want to kill you. That's what they do in crop production. That's number one. And number two, you know, animal agriculture produces the most crops for food, because a lot of the food that, a lot of the crops, plant crops that we produce are especially made for animal feed. So, well, actually, the most of the crops that we produce for food is specifically made for animal feed. So if we can choose to not produce any of it, any animal products, like let me just ask you this way, how could we ever tackle the issue of killing animals incidentally or accidentally to protect our crops when we bring to life animals to exploit and kill them? Like, I don't think it's possible. Hey, Renee, thank you so much for the donation. It's like I eat humans because car accidents. Exactly. Imagine that people, that's actually a very good point, Renee, so that you're making. So imagine that humans die in car accidents, and then imagine that Jeffrey Dahmer were to say, but Your Honor, we never tackled the car accidents. Sure, I mean, in US especially, car accidents are on the rise. Car deaths are on the rise. So, you know what? Since humans die from that, why shouldn't I be allowed to kill humans, huh? Why shouldn't I be allowed to bring humans into existence to kill them? Imagine that. And gun violence also. They also die from gun violence, yeah. Exactly. So imagine people, individuals dying from all sorts of reasons, and then that giving you a justification to kill them yourself. You want to try the social experiment?
Why not?
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Sir?
You want to come, like, here so that you're in view?
Can you come with me?
Yeah, sure. You can both be. Nice. What are your names?
Melissa.
Melissa?
Hannah.
I'm Chip. Where are you girls from?
Germany. Yeah.
Germany. Okay. Melissa and Hannah, how do you girls feel about animals?
I like animals.
You like animals?
Yeah.
What is it that you like about them?
Well, they look cute.
They look cute. Okay. Do you think that animals don't look cute should be killed?
No.
No?
No.
So do you think that those animals deserve the right to their life?
Yes.
Do you think all animals deserve the right to their life?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like, because it's their life after all, right?
Yes.
What if we bring these animals into existence? Like, let me put it this way. If I have a dog and I take the sperm of another dog and I impregnate my dog so that she gets pregnant with puppies, do I have the right to do whatever I want to those puppies?
I don't think so.
No.
No? But I gave them life, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's
they're their own person. They
Yeah.
have their own rights and opinions. Or their
Okay.
own being.
Okay, so it would be wrong even if I give them a purpose myself, right?
Yes.
Okay. What about, and this is where, let's see if you're going to contradict yourself. What about the animals in animal agriculture?
Then what?
Do those animals deserve the right to their own life?
Yes.
Yeah. Are those animals exactly like I just mentioned, brought into existence only to be killed?
No. They're
No?
not. No.
Why are they brought into existence in the first place then?
To live their life, to be free.
In animal agriculture?
What is it? Like on their own?
No, they're just brought to existence to be exploited, to be used, and then when they can no longer be exploited, they're killed.
Like I said, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, that's not right, right? Oh, appreciate it. Do you think that's right?
No.
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 So then, are you girls vegan?
I tried it, but I have iron. I'm low on iron,
Yeah.
so my doctor told me I have to go back to eating meat. But I did try it.
So, what if you could get an iron supplement? Wouldn't that solve it directly?
But it's not the same. I also have low iron, and it's always better to eat food than meat
Real, yeah.
than take supplement.
What kind of meat contains iron?
Beef.
Yeah, red meat, right?
Yes.
Did you also know that red meat is type 2B carcinogenic? That it increases your risk of colon cancer every time you eat it?
Yes.
So,
No? Yeah,
so then how is red meat a healthy one? Because I feel like if you're going to be supplementing, you're not going to be increasing
I
your
don't-
risk of cancer.
Yeah, I don't think that pure red meat is healthy at all. You need like a balance of everything, of course. But I do believe in my case, which it's really sad, I would like iron pills, but because of low iron, it's helpful, you know?
So if you take, I'm a certified nutritionist, by the way.
Yes.
You would find out that doctors don't usually have the nutritional certifications.
Yes.
They don't really know enough about nutrition, and it makes sense. They know about the human body. They don't know necessarily how to feed the human body well.
Yeah.
But if you take a supplement and you take vitamin C, then absorption will increase dramatically. There's been studies showing that heme iron, the iron that you find in red meat, is similar to vitamin C plus iron. And if not, I think Impossible meat or Beyond meat might
Yeah.
actually have heme iron within
Does it?
them. I think one of them. I think Impossible. I'm almost certain that they have heme
Okay.
iron. Not
And
sure about
Beyond-
Beyond. I'm not sure about
okay.
Beyond. But like either way, like you can get supplements that definitely will help you. And I think
Yeah.
any doctor should recommend supplements first. But if I bring it back to animals, is there any reason to exploit animals? Like for example, for dairy products, not just meat. Like
If we're thinking about realistically, I don't think it will stop because a lot of people are against it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's right because imagine I would be stuck in those and I would be forced to do something like that. I don't think it's right, but I don't think people will ever stop because they think I like it and I want it, so that's why it should be there.
yeah, but does it matter if it's gonna stop or not? If your
No.
I think what matters is your contribution to it, right?
Yeah, that definitely.
Because I think if your values say that you respect animals,
Yeah.
that it's wrong to exploit and kill them,
Yeah.
then surely, or to even forcefully impregnate them like they do to dairy cows, by the way, like I just described that we do to dogs,
Yeah,
then surely you shouldn't be paying for it, right?
right.
Yeah. So, what is holding you back from going vegan and no more
Wait,
oppressing of animals?
what are different things that have iron except for red meat?
I mean, spinach, cruciferous vegetables are rich in iron. But I can give you a resource that would give you access to a free nutritionist,
Yes.
and that would help you in your case also with low iron. It's pretty common amongst women to have lower iron, right? Because you
Yeah.
menstruate and you have
Yeah.
these issues, and that usually causes low iron. So it's pretty common. So there are solutions to it. But the question is, do you think it's important that you try and find these solutions instead of oppressing animals? Right? Is there any other reason that you could think of oppressing animals?
I want to say being dangerous, but like if we humans are dangerous, we also get locked up. So maybe.
No, I
being
see what you mean. Like,
yeah.
like in a defense idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. That's defense,
Yeah.
right? We can defend yourself in any situation.
Yeah.
But in a situation where you're walking down the street like you are now,
Yeah.
walking into a supermarket, is there any reason why you would choose an animal-based product?
Reproduction of animals. She's talking about the massive reproduction of animals and how fast they grow,
Yeah.
and that's why people kill them.
Yeah, I mean, they kill them not because they reproduce. These animals don't reproduce on their own. Farmers reproduce them. Can you hold this for a second?
Keine Ahnung. Ah, wie? Chip?
I'm gonna show you.
Do you stream this on TikTok?
No, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of graphic content, okay? Just to kind of.
Guck mal, Maria, wir sind auf irgendeinem Live.
So, this is for cows. Somebody's jerking off a bull. They get their semen, then they put their hand in their anus, hold their cervix, and then they inject semen in their vagina. This is standard practice across the board, and it usually happens across all of them, right? So they don't reproduce on their own, we reproduce them. We sometimes mutilate them because we keep them in tight containers. And then we put on machines to grab the milk from them. And then when the babies are born, we take them away so that they don't drink the milk because we say it's our milk and we can do whatever we want to it. And then we keep them isolated and then we kill them if they're male.
But it's not always like that.
It's always, I've seen it in my grandma's backyard. It's always like that. It's one form of another of this. One form of impregnating the animal, whether it's artificial impregnation or they take the bull, they keep the bull separate and then they put them together so that they mate. And then when the babies are born, because we take the milk, the babies cannot drink the milk because if the babies drink the milk, then we no longer can take the milk, so they separate them. And the babies that are born male don't produce any milk, so they kill them afterwards. Either they grow them up to a year or two and they kill them, or they kill them directly, or in the Netherlands here, there's been hundreds of cases where they would just let them starve to death. And if they're female, the same fate as their mothers, every year impregnated, every year exploited for their milk, and every year babies taken from her. And at some point they kill them. Do you know when? When they no longer can get them pregnant. Imagine if somebody had power over you, they wanted to drink your milk, so they impregnate you every year, they take away your baby, they kill your babies, they take your milk, and when you can no longer get pregnant, they kill you. Is that giving you respect?
No.
No. And this is for dairy products.
But I don't think that everyone is like that. I mean, it's
You can do your own research if you don't believe me. I thought
yeah,
that's...
but I couldn't do such things. So I don't think everyone thinks like that and everyone does that.
Like, you don't have to trust me on this. I mean, I'm pretty confident that it's like that everywhere because I was in your position. The first thing I said, surely it doesn't happen everywhere like that. It does. Sadly, it does. And then I thought back of my time as a child when I stayed with my grandma. I come from Romania, and they do subsistence agriculture there. So I have seen my grandma do one form of this, where the baby, then she would shoo away the broom. The baby would then all of a sudden disappear, and a couple of weeks later we would get beef. That's because the baby was sold off, killed, and then she would get some of the meat. So they do that. That's how cows get pregnant. That's also, you can notice if you want to like a little exercise, whenever you see a farm, you will see that there's only females on that farm. How can that be? There's surely, on such a large numbers of animals that we grow, there needs to be at least 50-50, males and females. But on most farms, they'll have 1 or 2 males and 10 or 20 females because they kill them.
Would it be wrong though if the animals live a happy, healthy life and then they die of old age? Is that still wrong? Like, genuine question.
I have no problem. Like if you accidentally hit an animal with your car and you want to eat their flesh, I don't think there's something more immoral to it.
Yeah.
But I do think that in a society where we live, where we see animals as products, you're still perpetuating the idea that animal is a product.
Like a moral thing.
Yeah. So in the sense, if you run over a human, if a human being dies, would you want to consume their flesh? Or if a dog dies, would you want to consume their flesh? No, but somehow cows, chickens, and pigs, we see them as products. So we say this, well, what if they die? Can I eat them then?
Yeah.
It's like we're trying to...
I think because it's so normalized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's not your fault for all of this.
Yeah.
It's animal agriculture that's been selling you this stuff.
Wollt ihr auch?
Nein.
Vegan sein.
Vegan.
Yeah. Are you vegan?
No.
Why not?
I like Nein, I don't want to talk.
That's okay. I'm not gonna force. That's okay. Let me give you a card before you go, okay? And I'll also write down my YouTube channel so that... This is my YouTube channel, and this is a website. If you go on this website, they'll ask you for a code. Type in this code, and there's a thing there called Dominion. It's the first video that will appear. Give that a watch, okay? Just to get informed. That's it. Okay? And you decide for yourself, okay? Bye. Oh, somebody wants to debate me. She is right. No, she's not. It does happen everywhere. Animal exploitation is inherent in animal agriculture. And you know how you know that? It's pretty simple. You don't even have to trust me on that one. You can yourself do the simple exercise. Is it moral to farm humans? You'll most likely say no. And then you'll ask yourself, but wait, why? What if we farm them the way we ideally imagine farming animals? Would it be moral? And he would say, no, of course. Because you know why? Humans, we respect their individuality, their personality, their will to live and be free. Yet for animals, somehow, if we bring them to life, we somehow think we have the right to do whatever we want to them. And we may say, well, we're acting morally. But we brought them to life. Eventually, we can do whatever we want to them. Already that mentality is broken. And you say something like, well, you know what, I'll treat them nicely, and when the time comes, I'll harvest them, which is the most ridiculous expression ever, because that's what they say, they'll harvest them. But what essentially that means is that they'll send them to a slaughterhouse, or they'll kill them inside, as if that's any different. They'll take away their individuality. They'll take away everything that represents that animal, you know? To farmers, the fact that animals have an individuality, the fact that they have a personality, the fact that they want to live and be free, the fact that there's a somebody behind those eyes is actually a problem. I kid you not that I bet you guys want to try a social experiment? I bet you that if you were to make animals that are not sentient, 100% of the farmers would choose that, because they don't really see animals as individuals. They don't really want to see them that way. Even if they acknowledge that they are, a lot of the times they dissociate in order to allow themselves to do what they've been taught to do. Their morality is kind of sporadic, all over the place. They don't really have any logic behind it. And they justify it by saying, well, we need to make money, we need to make ends meet, you know? So, yeah, it is horrific what they do to them, and it is immoral regardless. There is no one farmer that treats their animals good. They treat them less worse, but there is absolutely no way that they treat them good. Treating somebody good inherently implies at least giving them body autonomy, at least body autonomy. Letting them decide for their own body. You gave them life, doesn't mean you can take it away. Mate, you're just a guy version of vegan teacher, live and let live. Stop insisting that people have the same diet as you. It genuinely makes you look really insufferable, says RHIDYD. Well, wait a minute. RHYD? Why would I be insufferable? If I'm saying ridiculous things that don't actually have any meaning or sense, then surely they shouldn't be meaning anything to you. You shouldn't be bothered by them. But somehow you're bothered by them. Do you want to know why you're bothered by them? Because deep down you know that what I'm saying is true. You know that, right? And it's not about your diet or your whatever you think it is. It's about the animals, the victims that don't deserve to be exploited and slaughtered. So no, this whole idea of, oh, you're bothering me, therefore go away. You're telling me things I don't want to hear, go away. Man, maybe you should start listening to things you don't want to hear, just so that you actually form an informed opinion, so that you actually know the full details of something that it is you're contributing to. I'm just saying, maybe you should know, you should look into it a little bit more. Maybe you should look into it a little bit more before saying that I'm annoying for trying to get people informed on the matter. Why can our bodies break down meat and not cement? Will someone answer? Says Observer 01. So by that logic, Observer 01, if our bodies can break down meat, then surely killing humans and eating them would be moral, correct? Since our body can break it down. Who is eating cement? Says Nafia. Exactly, so funny, huh? Corey White says, this stance is dumb. Animals don't have rights, and I don't think they should. Oh, Corey White, so by that logic, since humans are animals, right? And animals should not have rights, then humans should not have rights. You're right, it makes sense. You're right. Veganism isn't a diet, so that means I can be vegan and eat meat, says Space Maniel. Yes, if the meat isn't coming from exploited and slaughtered sentient beings, then you could theoretically eat meat, yeah. So that means if you, I don't know, consume lab-grown meat, that you could still be vegan and consume lab-grown meat. Being vegan isn't about the diet. It's not about what you eat. In fact, you can eat dairy milk in the US. You can drink dairy milk that's not coming from cows. It's called bored cow, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And it's made from precision fermentation. So yeah, it's not about the diet. Very, very thank you for reminding everybody that it's not about a diet. It's about the sentient beings and rejecting their exploitation, their abuse, and their slaughter. Bye, Utops. Thank you for being here. The stance is be a guardian, not a bully. Well said, James. The audience says Chip is that accordion player following you around. No, so he's like, I would say 10 meters away from me right now. This is like 30 feet, I guess, in the US. But sometimes there's people who come in between, so the sound kind of gets muffled out. And sometimes there's no people in between and the sound is louder, so yeah, sorry about that. Oh boy, that was a laundry list of moral auto with zero epistemic founder. Are you pragmatist, atheist, or agnostic? I'm atheist. I'm actually anti-theist. I think religions are detrimental to society. So I'm an anti-theist, but if you ask for my opinion, atheist. There is no evidence of any god or deity, so why would I choose to believe in any god or deity? And no, Bible, Quran, all of that, those are not evidence for those things. Those are just stories. Can you tell us your story of how you became vegan? Well, I first quit meat for health reasons. I knew the fact that meat is carcinogenic was known for a while now, was suspected, so I quit for that reason because, you know, I care about my health. That's how I quit meat. Then I became a vegetarian, and for a long time I was just that, a vegetarian. And at some point I started thinking, well, as a vegetarian, I also am respecting animals, and I thought I was doing enough. And then I started looking into vegan debates, and I found that being vegetarian isn't enough. So then I saw it as a moral obligation, and I changed overnight. I said, no more, I have to be vegan. Oh, Marcos, thank you so much.
Talk to me.
You want to have a conversation?
No, thank you. We want to have a conversation. Maybe you can promote him that he gets some more money. Please, very nice.
And I don't think she knows what the conversation is. Marcos, thank you so much. 10 memberships. Let's see who got them. I don't know who these people are. Oh, some of them are just people who come here, yeah. I think I saw a question from somebody, is AI sentient? No, AI is not sentient. Not right now, or not that we know of. But as far as we know, it is not sentient. Navia says, Chip loves being vegan. To be honest, I don't think it's a thing that I love about me. I think it's a thing that I just am. It's like saying somebody loves not killing humans. I don't know if you can love not doing that, right? I just am an individual who respects animals. I don't think I love that specific. I love being an animal rights activist, I'll give you that. I love speaking for animals, that's one thing. But saying that I love to be vegan, Look, Alley Cat says AI is sentient. Alley Cat, how can you prove that AI is sentient? Please explain to me. Don't need human meat, I got beef.
You're not vegan.
Can I help you?
Yes, I want to see
Okay,
this.
but this is my sign. You can't just touch my things, lady.
I want to see
But
what's
you can't
over
just
there.
touch my signs.
Don't put it on the street. The street is public.
Wait,
I
are you
want to
telling
see
me
the
that
outside.
everything that's
No.
on you is
I
public
want to see
domain?
what's over there?
It says if you're not vegan, you're supporting needless animal exploitation.
Yeah, but you have to put it on the front so that everybody can see it.
Why?
I'm curious.
I can do whatever I want. It's my stuff. What do you mean?
This is public street. I can touch whatever I
You
like.
can't
when
touch
it's
my
on the street.
products. No, can you touch his bike? It's public street. Can you touch his bike?
Yes, I can touch it. You can see. I can touch him as well.
Well, no, you can't touch me or my stuff. You can't touch me or my stuff. That's okay. You don't have to be bigoted. That's okay. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what the fuck exactly? Now I'm holding the animal abuse should be legal. Let's see if somebody bites. Do you agree with the sign? Do you agree with the sign? It says animal abuse should be legal. Why not? Why not? What if you benefit from abusing animals? Next person is sane. I don't think this is a location where we'll find a lot of sane people. I think because it's a little bit crowded, I think everybody will have will be a little bit on the edge here, but that's okay. It's okay. Well, I'm calm. We're the rational, kind people, and we're holding a position that is fairness, equity, and compassion. So we're in a position where regardless, people don't seem to care about animals at all, says Paz Maniel. Perhaps, yeah, there's people who don't. But you know, we do. And there's people who care. There's people who care about animals. There's people who care about being fair individuals, who care about not exploiting and slaughtering innocent beings just because they can. It's just it. LA Cat says, I'm a programmer, Chip, AI is. LA Cat, I'm also a software engineer. AI is not sentient. Prove to me that AI is sentient. Prove to me that they have a subjective experience. Observer 01, I don't think you understand the point. You say eat cement and come back if you're alive. Nobody's advocating to eat cement. What the hell are you talking about, man? What does a vegan future world look like? Well, in a vegan world, people respect all animals and all sentient beings. In a vegan world, I think there would be less conflicts born out of the need for exploitation, economy, or other kind of bullshit, because we would be respecting the rights of sentient beings, and that of course includes other humans. I think in the vegan world, any reason for discrimination would be even less. So yeah, I think we have 15 minutes left, and I don't see a lot of people stopping by. So I actually will hold this sign. If you're not vegan, you're supporting needless animal exploitation. So let's see. Some people will get upset, but that's okay. You agree with the sign? Are you vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
This is also what you pay for.
I know. But I'm working on it.
Do you need a card? Let me give you a card to help you out.
That's okay. I don't want to waste paper. But I know. I'm working on it.
It's called Challenge 22. She said she's vegetarian. It's also, by the way, keep in mind that I'm in a place where there's a lot of traditionalists here. Like, there's people here who literally will cling to their tradition as much as they can. And anybody like me who's speaking English in their Dutch country, they'll want to abolish because I dare to challenge preconceptions. I dare to respect the rights of others. Do you agree with the sign? Do you agree with the sign?
Oh, no, sorted quickly.
Slaughtered quickly?
Yeah,
Does that mean it's okay?
I don't say that.
No. So if you could choose not to inflict violence on animals, why wouldn't you choose that?
Say it one more time.
If you could choose not to inflict violence on animals, why not choose that?
If you cannot,
Yeah. Do you think that this animal is okay? They want it to die?
no, I don't think so.
No.
You think?
No. So if we can choose otherwise, why not choose otherwise?
I don't know.
Yeah. Why aren't you vegan?
Maybe I like the meat. Yeah. Why? Tell me.
So is your taste worth more than their life?
No.
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 But your actions say differently, don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You don't know why.
No.
Never thought about it?
No, not so when you say it, so as you say it. I never thought about it.
Yeah. I'm just here trying to speak up on their behalf, you know? They're beings who deserve to have a voice also.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you agree?
No, I agree with you saying,
Yeah.
but I don't know why you make the change. I don't know why.
Yeah. I'm just like I'm trying to like challenge people a little bit because
Yeah,
we need a little bit of challenge, right?
yeah, of
We
course.
need-
Yeah. But it's what you say that you think about it. You're right.
Yeah. Like, would you think doing this to dogs would be okay?
Yeah, of course not.
course not.
You're right.
Yeah, but there's no difference between them, no?
No,
They both feel the same way.
I agree.
Yeah. So why not go vegan today?
Yeah, we gotta think about it.
You gonna think about
Yeah.
it? Can I give you a card?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, nice. Let me give you a card. I don't have a pen anymore. But go on this website
Yeah.
or scan this code
Yeah, the code.
and watch Dominion. That's the first video there, okay?
do that.
Cheers, I appreciate it. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark, I'm Chip. Nice to meet
Hi.
you, Mark. Okay. The guy was nice enough. I think sometimes you're surprised by it, huh? You're like, there are some people who are open-minded. There are some people who knows? That really was a surprise. I think that's one of the things. That's why one of the reasons why I think activism is extremely important and that we speak up more for animals is because a lot of the times we just need to ask a couple of questions to people just to get the wheels rolling, just to get people thinking a little bit from the perspective of these innocent sentient beings. At the end of the day, I think people will make the right choice if they are informed. That's why Dominion, which is a documentary that shows literally what animals go through, has made so many people go vegan, because it literally just shows you the truth. That's it. That's why. That's why so many people choose it, because they saw the truth. So, yeah, I think a lot of people will make an informed choice. And it's important we have these conversations because there are still people who they watch Dominion, they see this kind of stuff, but they still then choose to continue participating in it because they refuse to believe that that's something that they're paying for, or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think something within them is telling them that it's not okay. So even the people that watch it and don't go vegan, they still make changes in the right direction. So that just means that something within them did change. So again, informing people is extremely important. So if you ever have the option, the opportunity to go and inform people, to have just small conversations with them. Hey, how do you feel about animals? Should animals be exploited, slaughtered for us? It's good enough. Hey Marcos, how can you tell if someone or something is conscious without using words? I mean, you can kind of see it in their behavior, can't you? There's a lot of non-verbal communication that we as humans also do towards each other. So it's not only words that matters. Your morals are fucked up than mine, says silly Billy J. Why would my morals be that, man? My morals are extremely consistent. I respect animals, and I think animals should not be exploited and slaughtered for us. I think everybody deserves the bare minimum respect to their own body, to their own life. I'm not saying give animals the right to vote, although even if you did do that, it's not like animals could vote. But, just saying. Give them the bare minimum, respect them. You should worry about abortion. I am worried about abortion. I am worried that a lot of women don't have access to abortion, that a lot of individuals who could otherwise need access to a medical procedure are denied that access because of people who think they have an opinion on it, because of people who are religious nutjobs, and they force some moral values that they themselves don't understand down the throats of others. And in the process, others are suffering. So I am worried about that, yes. I'm very worried about that. As Gary Yourofsky said, the trees are not running away if you kick them. Exactly, Marcos. Imagine that. Adam says I'm freezing on the stream. I'm not. I actually have to go to the bathroom. That's why I'm moving left and right. But let's see. Maybe we get one more conversation before I go. Luke says disgusting person. Who the people who consume animal products, who exploit and slaughter sentient beings? I agree with you. Disgusting. Yeah. Stop animal suffering, but humans can suffer. It's okay. Sure, because that's what we're talking about. Imagine imagine if I were sitting here speaking about women's rights, and you would be like, yeah, but what about men's rights? Don't they matter? They do, just like everybody's rights matters. But at the end of the day, some people are more oppressed than others. So that's why we speak for some and not others. Hey. You want to have a conversation with me? Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel? What's your name?
David.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you, David. Where are you from?
Canada.
Canada. Okay. Well, a lot of Canadians here. I've gotten only Canadians today. So, David, how do you feel about animals?
I love animals.
You love animals? Do you think animals deserve moral consideration? And by that I mean that if our actions impact them, then we should consider their well-being.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think animals deserve the right to do whatever they want with their life?
Well, sometimes animals translate into our food. That's complicated.
Yeah. Why is it complicated there? Don't those animals deserve moral consideration or right to their life?
I think they deserve to be treated fairly, but we still need food.
Is it fair to bring them into existence just so that we can kill them for optional products? Sure, they can be food, but they don't need to be food.
I eat meat. I'm pro meat, so I do think.
So
that
you're
meat
pro
is-
bringing into existence sentient beings for the sole purpose of killing them?
You got to treat them well.
Why?
Why do you got to treat them well?
Yeah. You're essentially disregarding their individuality anyway by bringing them into existence and then taking their whole life away for a sandwich. So why do you have to treat them well if you consider that their whole life is worth less than a sandwich?
Because I think humans are worth. They're important and they need to be fed, and I think there's some.
But we can feed humans on a plant-based diet. We don't. You can be fed on a plant-based diet.
There's a lot of science right now against some of the plant-based diet stuff.
There is none of it. I'm actually a certified nutritionist. You can look it up yourself. We can thrive on a plant-based diet. The largest organization of nutritionists and
There's been a big change on that in the
dietitians.
last couple of years.
Yeah,
I know there
because
was
studies,
pretty
more
quick-
and more studies are coming up showing that you can thrive on a plant-based diet, and that really animal products actually have a detrimental effect to our health, because a lot of the times the way our health works is that we have to complement whatever we eat with a lot of plants, because plants have a protective effect against the
Well,
negative
plants are
effects.
healthy. I'm not denying that anyway.
Yeah, so then if we can be healthy and thriving on a plant-based diet, why not choose that?
Well, I didn't say that. I said plants are healthy, but I still think the protein, animal-based protein, is important.
So what would convince you that we don't need to consume animal products to thrive?
Well, that was the thing. That's what's came out more recently is that like there was this big push for vegan, like don't eat meat or don't do any of this. Like 5 years ago, there was a big movie about it. Arnold was in,
Yeah.
and there seems to be a
Game
lot more
changers.
pushback on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the best documentary. I'll give you that. There were certain things within it that weren't okay, but you can't just disregard everything that they were saying.
No, I actually liked that movie, and I tried
Yeah.
vegan for a while after that, and I felt terrible.
Okay.
And then
Sounds to
when
me
I
like we're just not eating enough, probably. But like,
Maybe.
What do you think being vegan is?
Being vegan is not eating anything that's animals or animal byproducts.
Yeah. So it's not
So
not a
like,
diet.
like including like milk and eggs.
Do you think vegans wear leather?
Is it what?
Wear leather?
No.
No.
I
So it's
don't.
not a diet, right? Then.
No, but when you think of vegan, I think most people would think of a diet.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Because I think that's the biggest hurdle that most people have, right? It's
Yeah.
the diet itself. But
And I don't even know if leather is as prominent as it used to be.
maybe not, but I'm just putting it out there, right? Like some
Yeah.
people still do that, maybe in shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
But being vegan is a moral principle of rejecting animal exploitation.
Yeah.
And there is plenty of evidence out there. You don't have to trust me on this one. You can look it up yourself. I can give you resources to start with, but we don't need animal products to thrive. So based on the premise that we wouldn't need animal products to thrive, I understand there's a point of contention here between us on that point, but let's just go on the point that if the situation were to show up that you can thrive on a plant-based diet, wouldn't you see it as a moral obligation that you no longer oppress animals?
Yeah, probably, actually.
Yeah, right? Like, because they're sentient beings, they deserve to live just as much as us, right? Otherwise, can you even call yourself an animal lover or that you love animals?
Yeah, I still think you can. But again, I believe in, like, in my area, there's a lot of farming. Like, I believe a lot in the farming, and that part of that is meat production and stuff like that. So it's you would have to unlearn a lot of respect I have about farmers before we can get to the stage where I think that they're morally wrong. Like, you got to unlearn years of that.
Well, I don't think necessarily.
Which I'm not saying is impossible, but it's quicker than a conversation.
I think fair enough. I think farmers are mostly victims of a system more than anything. I think you also might be a victim of a system in a sense or another, right? You've been lied to that you need animal products. You've been lied to that animals are treated nicely on this kind of shit. But essentially, animals are exploited, slaughtered, and it does continue to happen because people like you pay for it. And it does start with you, sadly, even if you were just lied to by other individuals. So the reason why I sit on the street and want to have conversations with people is because I do want to tell them the truth and the perspective of the victim, Because a lot of the times you go into a supermarket, you go to a restaurant, wherever it is you're going, when you're buying something, you don't see if that animal was treated nicely. You don't see if that animal was killed in a nice way, how you say it. All you see is a product that has a label.
I don't mean, yeah. When I said killed in a nice way, and I guess I do mean that too. But I meant having a good life, like not chickens stuck in cages until they're.
Yeah, but if you have a good life, would it be fair for somebody to take it away from you?
I think humans are well above.
What makes us well above other animals?
I just think we're different.
In what way? In what way are we so different that we can justify oppressing sentient beings
Well, like,
for
did
money?
an animal build that building?
Did you build that building? If we find human beings who cannot build buildings,
I built buildings. Yeah. Well, if you find human beings that can't build buildings, there may be an argument about humans that are useful. Yeah. If you have,
there's humans who cannot build shit. There's humans like who are intellectually challenged or something, and they cannot build anything or do anything.
yeah, but those souls are beautiful. Like they're beautiful people.
So wait, why wouldn't the souls of the animals be beautiful then? Why they're
Again,
the same?
I think they're different than humans.
In
I
what
tr- I
way?
truly
In
do.
what way that justifies the difference in treatment?
I think that they don't have the same ways that our brain works. I don't think they have the same.
They do. That's why we test on animals. Which I'm also against, by the way. But that's why we test on animals. It's because we are extremely similar to them.
Well, yeah, no, I think we're different. I do. So
But you can't name that difference. It's
Pardon?
just something you think. It's like me saying, I think you and me are different.
Yeah, I know, but
therefore it's okay for me to oppress you because I think we're different. Somebody asks me, but how? I just think we are.
No. But I do think humans are different.
But you
I
can't
do.
name it. You just think so. You just repeat that, but you can't say it.
Humans did this. Animals didn't do this. Like it's very.
Some humans did this. You cannot do this,
but-
and
but-
neither
but-
can
but
I.
humans are capable. That's what I like. It's just humans.
But again,
built-
if we find
hum-
humans who
built-
are not
humans built
capable,
societies.
but there's humans who are not capable of building society or even being in
I
society.
know that you're making that point, but that point isn't very important to me.
Well, are those humans humans the same value as other animals?
Are you asking those humans should be eaten?
Yeah, should those humans be exploited and slaughtered?
No, because once again, I think humans are different.
Wait, what is the difference between those humans and animals?
Again, you can't deny that humans are different than every other living creature.
I can't deny that you're different than me, but that
But
difference
that's,
doesn't
but that's,
justify
but that's different
oppression.
in a different way. That's not in a biological way.
That doesn't justify oppression, does it? It is a biological difference. You have different skin color, different hair color, different eye color.
I meant as human beings. Yeah.
But there is no. Do you think there is a? If I show you a DNA, could you identify if they're human or an animal?
Yeah, but again, that's not my point. I never pretended I was a biologist.
No, but it's not even a biologist cannot. DNA, there's no specific strand of part of your DNA or of your biology that identifies you as human. Human is just a species.
So you can look at DNA.
Do you know what?
You can look at DNA and decide the difference between a human and a chicken.
You can decide that there is a difference
that was
between
my
them.
question. Can you look at the difference
Yeah,
between
of course
the two?
you can. Just like you can look
No,
at the
but
difference.
You specifically.
No, me specifically I cannot. But like
Okay.
obviously others can. Just like
But
they could look
no,
at our
I know,
DNAs
but-
and see that there's a
I
difference.
know, but others built the buildings. You can't look at DNA.
But
so
you fail to understand the purpose.
on that front.
There's
no.
humans
on
who
that
cannot
front,
do any
on that
of
front,
it.
you have no idea.
But there's humans who cannot do any of it, correct?
Pardon?
There's humans who cannot do any of it, who
I thi-
cannot build this.
I think a human could build something if they wanted to.
So there's intellectually
They can learn
challenged
things.
human beings who cannot
I don't
do
think
any of
I
it.
don't think a cow, if they wanted to, can learn how to build a building.
There's human beings who have encephaly, who are missing part of their brain, who are born like that, who have the cognitive abilities less of an animal.
No, but they got moving
Should we
fingers. They
kill
could do
those
stuff.
animals? Should we kill them as
Again,
animals?
Once again, I think animals are different.
Humans are animals also, by the way.
I think humans are different.
What is the difference?
I already told you.
No, you
Look, you
didn't.
can look around. The city is built from humans.
No, what is the difference between the intellectually
And
challenged
those
human beings who
and
cannot
and
build?
those humans that built these cities, they ate animals.
Well, no. What is the
Because
difference
they needed
between
to
the
survive. They
intellectual?
needed protein. They
You
needed
need
all
to
that.
you need to listen to this question.
They didn't have
What is the
peanuts
difference?
and soybeans and all that stuff.
What is the difference between the intellectually challenged human beings who cannot build any of these buildings or cannot do any of the things that you are claiming now that humans can do,
Humans
and
are,
other animals?
Humans are.
You still treat them differently. You
Humans
still
are more capable. They're more.
not those
sentient beings.
individuals, not those humans.
Okay, so what your argument, just so everyone knows, you shouldn't eat meat because some people have some form of biological
Is that what you got from
change.
this?
Well, that's your whole argument.
No, my whole argument is that there is no morally
So just
significant
so you
difference
know.
between animals and humans. That
Don't
justifies
eat
the difference in
animals
treatment.
because some people have different biological differences.
Would you eat dogs?
No,
Why not? Wait a minute, they're
'cause I
animals.
like dogs.
Oh, so just because you give them a quantifier that you
I
like them,
don't-
all of a
I-
sudden they have moral worth?
But I don't think that other people in different communities, if dogs are their only form of protein.
So if you see a person
kicking,
kicking a dog down the street, do you say something or do you just join them?
no, again, I think people should have good lives.
So if a dog is being, sorry, not kicked, then killed. If a dog is being killed in front of you right now, you're gonna say, hey, yeah, do it. It's an animal. You can do whatever you want to them. Have you given them a good life before, though? Be careful. You can only kill them if you give them a good
I
life.
suspect if someone's killing a dog in the street, that they're not going to eat them.
Why not? And who cares?
Just based
Who
off.
cares
of,
if they put their flesh in their mouth hole or they put them in their butt? It's all optional to you.
All right.
So you don't need to do any of it.
Okay,
right?
I'm going to go, but just so you know, if you have some type of biological difference, and if you put protein
It's
in your
amazing
butt,
that you never didn't get the argument even after a conversation
don't
like
put
this.
protein in your butt, everybody.
So you see animals as protein. You don't even see them as individuals, do you? Hi, you want to have this conversation with me?
Hello, how are you doing
Hi,
today?
I'm Chip. Are
Nice
you
to
okay
meet
being live for my YouTube channel?
Sure.
What's your name?
My name is Rose. It's nice to meet you.
Are you also from Canada?
I am from Canada. We're visiting for the 80th liberation of the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of Canadians that I've been speaking to today. I guess you've heard a little bit of the conversation. It's about animal ethics. Do you think animals deserve the right to not be exploited?
I have a feeling that I'm probably not the best person to talk about it, but I'm willing to.
Okay.
So what's your opinion?
I'm just asking you first. Do you think animals deserve the right to not be exploited?
Explain what you mean by exploited.
Used against their will and not for their benefit, but for our benefit.
How do we know what is their will? They don't talk.
Well, we definitely know that they don't want to die, don't we?
Yeah.
We definitely know that they don't want us to take away their babies or that they want us to be sexually impregnating them. That's why they...
I have a feeling that things might be different here, but in Canada, I do know that, like, my stepdad, he's a farmer. I know that my grandfather, he was not a farmer, but his father was.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that where I'm from, at least, nothing is forced. At least in Canada, nothing's forced.
Do you think animals get pregnant when they want to?
Yeah, so at my grandparents' farm, they would let them out at breeding season. They would let them do it on their own.
Wait. All of a sudden, you already said you took one right away from them because you said they let them
Oh
out.
no, like
So
we let
they
the
took-
herds meet each other
So why do they have to be separate all year round?
to keep them warm.
To
They
keep
go
them warm.
they go into the barn in
So-
the winter because it's too cold for them. So we give them little coats that we make.
So wait, let me see if I get this straight. Why aren't the males with the females during winter also?
I don't know why they're in. I don't think they're in separate barns, but we let them out into the field to breed on their own.
How many males do you have?
It's a good question. It's been a while since I've been at the farm. We've been here for a good long time. We did sell a lot of our older cattle off, I think. I think we did. I don't know. But I do know that we do love our cows. We love them so much. We love all
Do
of
you
our
kill
animals
them?
in Canada. We don't.
You don't?
We don't.
So how long does a cow live?
I think a good couple decades. We let our cows live for a good long
24,
time.
25 years.
We let them we like to keep them more as pets.
What happens to the babies?
The babies, we try to keep them with their mothers for as long as we humanly can. Unfortunately, there is a point where sometimes the mother will be sick, so we want to keep the baby away so that the baby doesn't get sick.
So you don't get any milk or anything from the cow?
We do sometimes. We only wait till they're calm. We try to make things as happy and as healthy for our little cows as we can. We love them so much.
Would you put a human being in the same position as you put those cows?
Probably.
Probably.
They live in a little house. They live all together, and like a human is not going to sleep on a bale of hay. But
But why do you do this then? What do you get out of it?
well, why do we keep pets? We love them.
So you keep them as pets. You don't use them.
We use some of them.
So you do use them.
I don't personally. It's my grandparents' farm. I don't own the farm.
Fair.
I don't eat beef. I can't help but think about the cows when I do, and it makes me a little sad. But
But you
that's
do
okay.
consume dairy products, right?
I consume a couple. I try to lean for vegetarian and vegan options, but sometimes like here, I don't know what's in the caramel here, but if there's milk in it, then oh well. I'm sure the cow was happy.
It wasn't.
I hope it was.
Sexually exploited, baby separated from their mother, killed if male.
For how wonderful
Exploited
Europe has
every
been
year.
so far, I really hope that they do treat them better. But I
What
do
you
know.
told me that happens on your farm is something that, first of all, I don't think it's true, because you'll notice that you don't have the same number of males as you do females on that farm for sure. Like, you'll notice that. I'm almost certain. You can say maybe if there are the same numbers of males and females, then I'm wrong.
I
But
don't
if
know
there's
exactly what happens on the farm, but I do know
yeah.
that, like, me and my stepdad and my great-grandfather, we all love our cows. We love them so much. At least in
But I
Canada,
love
we
my
try to
laptop
keep them
too.
better.
I love my laptop too. But the minute my laptop breaks, I sell it and get another. Do you love your cows when you sell them off to become meat or anything else?
Of course we do. We love them up. We give them snacks. We love them dearly.
How
we
do
try
you
to
love
make-
them when you sell them off to become meat or any other product?
You can love something with getting rid of it.
Wait, so if somebody were to love you, would it be okay if they keep you as property and then they sell you off to be killed? Would that be a sign of love for you?
Wouldn't it be a part of the society that we live in? I would assume yes.
So if it were done throughout society, then
I
you would
feel
see
that
us,
the way
yes.
that we
You
handle
would feel
our-
loved if somebody sold you off, and then to be killed, you would feel love if somebody sold you off to be killed, if everybody else also did it.
You seem to be really harping on the negative, my friend.
Because it is very negative to them.
It is a negative thing.
To them.
Unfortunately, yes,
Farming
there
is
is a
very
lot of
negative.
problems in the stocking and everything. But I do believe that when we take care of our cows and we love our cattle and we love our pigs and we love everyone, everyone does get along. At least in Canada. I hope things are different here.
That doesn't happen in Canada. That maybe that happens on your farm. Like, listen, I can't know exactly what happens. I don't know exactly what happens on your farm, but I can tell you that it doesn't happen on all farms for sure. Number one.
Which is
On
unfortunate.
most farms, cows, all animals are exploited and slaughtered. If yours is a farm, then animals are also exploited. Maybe they're not slaughtered and maybe they're treated nicely, but they are exploited. Farming inherently involves exploitation. So that's why I ask, do you think it's okay to exploit animals? It's not me focusing on a negative, it's me focusing on their rights. Their rights for body autonomy, their rights for a life that they want to live,
I don't
not
think
the
that
rights
animals
that
should
we.
be exploited, but unfortunately, this system is very hard to dismantle as it's been going on for before anyone from Europe even came to North America. It's been going on since forever, since it's the
So wait,
Indo-Europeans. I
but
believe?
if you don't think animals should be exploited, shouldn't you be vegan then?
I can't eat vegan food.
You were just saying just now that you
I
choose.
can't stomach it.
But you
I
just
try
said
to
just now
eat
that
it.
you always pick vegetarian and vegan options.
I try to. If I can
Why you
stomach it,
try to? What
sometimes
does
I
that
can't.
mean?
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Can you eat
Vegan
pasta?
No,
You can't eat pasta?
no,
Rice?
no.
Beans?
I eat beans.
So wait, what is it that you can't eat?
I can't. It's texture. I have a texture problem.
What happens when you eat that?
Worms. I vomit.
You vomit.
With rice, it feels like maggots. With
So you
noodles,
just consume animal products?
I try not to. I eat a lot of breads and crackers.
I'm sorry, I'm lost. So you don't eat animal products? You say you try not to. You don't eat pasta, rice. You try not to. You don't like vegan products. What is it that you eat?
I eat meat. I eat fish.
But that's animal products. What do you mean?
I am okay with eating animal products. I eat
So-
some vegetarian options. I eat some vegan
But
options.
you're just contradicting what you just said. You said you don't eat animal products or you try not to, and now you say you eat animal products and you list the animal products that you eat. That's a literal contradiction what you just said.
I apologize.
It's okay. It's just like try to be honest with me, or I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you're like, I can't seem to grasp your position on any of it. You seem to think that
I don't
you
think
say
that
animal
this is as much
exploitation.
of a problem as it is.
I mean, it is to the animals that are exploited and slaughtered
I'm
for
much
you.
more worried about the people in Gaza, the people in Ukraine. I'm much more worried about the things going on that
So wait.
I'm here in Amsterdam to celebrate.
But if wait, let me put it this way. If I'm more worried about women's rights to abortion, should that mean that I can do any type of other atrocity that I want?
No, I'm not saying that, and I do.
But that's what you're saying.
I
You're
do
saying
not
it's more,
appreciate
those
you
humans are
twisting
more
my words,
important.
but I think that if you're doing debates like this out in public, there are much better and much more important things that we can be talking about right now.
Instead of the innocent sentient beings who are exploited and slaughtered for you for choices that you could anyway be choosing otherwise, right? You could anyway right now. You're saying you care about people in Gaza and all this horrors being done, but you are inflicting way worse horrors onto innocent sentient beings right now by choosing every single day 3 times per day. When you eat, you choose to inflict horrors on these animals. There are much worse things on this planet. You can consider that. I don't care about that. Everyone has has their own system of value. But this is one of those things that doesn't require you to go to a government. You can stop your impact on it right now. You can literally say no more animals being exploited for me.
That's true, and I won't. And I thank you very much for your time. I should probably go back with my group.
Okay. Are you gonna stop exploiting animals?
I will try.
Okay. Let me just give you a card. I'm sorry if it got heated a little bit.
No,
I just
it's okay. It's important to have discussions.
and listen, I
In
appreciate
Canada,
you.
we don't talk very much about politics or animals. We don't talk very much about Ukraine or Gaza. Heck, our cenotaph has, what, 20 people in it?
Sorry. Listen, I think if you care about these causes, you should definitely align also with the idea of animal rights, because everything that we do to humans in general comes from exactly the same place, the same position of oppression that we achieve for animals. And I understand that you care more about human victims, and that's okay. You can fight for that all day long. Just that when you make these choices, try not to create victims out of animals also. They also
That's true.
deserve to live, right? So you have on this card, if you scan this QR code or go on this website, you have, if you type in this code, VPLYT, you have a thing there called Dominion. Can you just watch that? Yeah, it's the
Dominion?
first. Yeah, it's the first thing that appears there.
Okay.
You watch that?
No.
No, why not?
Sorry, Domania?
Dominion.
Dominion. I don't think. What is it?
It's a documentary about.
I don't
animal
know
treatment.
if that is available in Canada. I haven't
it
seen
is.
anything about it before, but I will take a look.
It's the first thing that appears, and it will definitely be available in Canada also.
Yes.
I have a colleague from Canada, so I know.
That's good.
Thank you for having this
Thank you for
conversation
your
with me. Be mindful towards all creatures.
I
Okay?
try to be. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Okay, everybody, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I have to go back to work.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Animal rights. You wanna talk to me about it?
Do you have, you're recording it, no?
I'm on live on YouTube.
Ah,
Yeah.
but they can't see us, right?
You can be off camera if you want.
Okay,
sure.
I mean,
What is? Oh, I don't know.
what's
what to
the
say, actually.
discussion?
What's the discussion?
So animal ethics, animal rights.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you: do you think animals should have the right to decide what they want with their own life?
Yeah.
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 Do you think
To
that
an
by
extent, yeah.
to an extent? What does that mean?
I think it's just difficult. It's just difficult because of how we treat them to balance that, like that, them having their own decisive power and us wanting to eat them. It's kind of difficult to do that.
But do we need to do any of this to them?
No.
I feel like since a long time, people have been having like a diet with like animal products, you know. So I guess like in countries where like the main goal is not, I don't know, just yeah.
We don't have to.
I don't know what to say.
Can I come in and interview?
Sure.
Yeah.
What is it about?
Animal ethics.
Okay.
But yeah, I do agree that to an extent it's good if animals have their own choice somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So given that we don't, I know we've been doing it for centuries, as you said it, but that doesn't make it right, does it? Right? Like, women only got rights in the last couple of 100 years, and for centuries women didn't have rights. That didn't mean that was right, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. So knowing that nowadays we can thrive on a plant-based diet, is there any way we can justify, we as individuals, and I mean you too, how can you morally justify paying for animals to be exploited and slaughtered for you?
I feel like we cannot morally justify, but in countries where they don't have the how do you say, privilege of deciding what to eat for themselves, they just eat what they want. Like, I come from a country where people are usually not very well off, so they eat whatever they can, and it's just, I know it's very good that we move to a plant-based nutrition plan, but sometimes it's just not viable and not, like, it's just
Not
not,
realistic.
yeah. Because also, like, let's for example say, in a country like Kazakhstan, their whole like food like meal plan is just like a lot of meat, a lot of milk, and they cannot grow plants. So maybe they can import it, but import.
What do you think they feed the animals?
Because animals, they don't require a lot of, like, at least horses, they don't require a lot of nutrition like us. We need a lot of complex nutrition.
Animals grow bigger than us. They require a lot more calories than us.
But
And
I
any
guess, like-
any element, it's basic physics, calories is a measurement of energy. Any energy that you put into that animal, you will definitely get less of it because they also spend a lot of that energy existing on their own, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're going to be feeding the animals plants a certain amount of energy, caloric energy, you're going to be getting considerably less than what you fed them.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we feed humans directly then?
I mean, in that sense, it's partially still, there's still reasons for why we can have animals someplace, but we can't have plants. Like as an example, also based on if you're in colder climate, you cannot have all sorts of plants there, and so your diet is going to look very, very different.
Nowadays we can though.
I think nowadays if you have like
Sure.
That's
but
partially true
it's
also.
very expensive. Like I'm telling you, like I don't mean to
Pasta,
say like,
rice is expensive.
but that's not all
Beans,
we need
lentils,
But in general, I do agree
though.
with
But
your
chickpeas we
point.
cannot grow in the climates of. I mean, I come from a country where it's like tropical, you know. So we can. My whole country's like food is mainly plant-based and it's really good and it's really nutritious. But in countries where it's not very feasible, so it's like.
Where do you come from? Sorry, friend.
I'm Indian, so usually people are vegetarians and like.
So you could theoretically stop oppressing any animals.
We could, but also in India we do eat milk products.
I know
So-
they're horrible to the.
Yeah,
those are the worst
yeah,
products out of all of them.
you know, like.
Why?
Because like while the animals that we grow for meat, we kill them at 1 year old, 2 years old. Dairy cows, we sexually impregnate them every year so that they could become pregnant, so that they produce milk. We take
Yeah.
away their babies because if the babies stay with them, they would drink their milk. We kill their babies if they're born male, and if they're female, we do the same thing to them over and over, year over
Yeah,
year. And then we kill them when we can no longer get them pregnant. So I would say that's considerably more cruel than bringing them into existence just to kill them. But none of it is necessary, to be honest.
Yeah,
None of it.
yeah.
We can,
Yeah.
like I understand maybe you were in positions where you have difficulty, but I think even in those positions you can find sources of without needing to that. And maybe not everybody, as you said, maybe not everybody has that
Yeah.
luxury. But if you have that luxury, don't you think you have an obligation to take advantage of that luxury?
Sure, I actually try to have more plant-based meals. Like you know, like for coffee, I usually drink oat milk and not cow milk.
Yeah.
So I guess that's one thing I can do. But yeah, for sure, like maybe people who are like privileged, like us, we're here in a country where we can definitely afford plant-based nutrition. We should.
Yeah.
But maybe not the rest of the world. I don't know. Like it's a very complicated thing.
But it's especially more, I think you owe it as a right to these animals that you claim you respect to not oppress them, number one. And then you owe it also to the other humans on this planet who cannot be in that position that you are.
Yeah,
who
that's a
cannot-
good point also.
You also owe it to them to consume plant-based because the more you do it, the more of us who have privilege do it, the more those privileges come to them also. The food system is pretty united on this planet, so if more people turn plant-based, consume plant-based, then more people will have plant-based opportunities and
Yeah.
cheaper options.
I think it's also about like a more fundamental change. That because right now also a lot of food chains, as she also described, are built like based on like meat based.
Yeah.
So it's better and easier for everybody to convert if we have a more fundamental change than just one or a few people eating like vegan food or vegetarian.
But we cannot
But in
get
general,
to
it's-
we cannot get to these changes. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but we cannot get to these changes unless you and me make these changes.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, there's so few people who regard the lives of animals, who
Yeah.
consider them as
Yeah.
beings who have moral worth. There's so few people that, like 97% of people are not vegan on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means even if we get to 95% of people, which would be a huge increase, it would still be not enough for governments or institutions to make changes to protect animals. We would still be in the same place. So where we're at right now, I do believe it will happen at some point that the whole world will have to be vegan because it's a highly inefficient system, animal agriculture. But until we get there, I think like you got to ask yourself, which side of it do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the oppressive side or on the ones who stood up against oppression?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's the difficult question. How many more animals should be oppressed for you until you change?
That is
A very complicated
very, very
question.
difficult. Yes,
I think if starting off now, if somebody is like, you know what, if in the whole world we like start eating plant protein or plant-based meals, I wouldn't mind. I would be like, hell yeah, I just want to eat. That's my main goal in life. I just want to eat good food. Yeah. I don't care if it's plant-based. I don't care if it's animal-based. I just want to eat. And if somebody in the government, in the higher, level of authority, because I do agree, like, small changes, they make a different, like, big difference and stuff. But, like, if somebody in the higher power is like, you know what, fuck it, we're not gonna exploit animals anymore, I would be like, hell yeah,
Hold this for a second. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of graphic content.
Wait, also, where's
Malika from?
Can you text her?
I'm gonna show you a little bit of graphic content, okay? So the reason why I show you this is because for the same reason I posed that question, you can choose for this animal to never be in this position. You can choose to not send an animal to this position. The system won't change, but the animal may not ever get in this position if you make different choices. You understand this? Because you have an impact. You understand that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to I don't know what changes you'll make after this conversation. I don't know what you'll do going forward. I can't police you with that. I'm just trying to kind of get you to connect with what it is that you're choosing, because the sad reality is, oh shit, my battery's going away. The sad reality is that these animals are beings. Do you think this animal wanted to be in this position?
Definitely not. Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, so
That's
what I was telling her, yeah, it's like maybe you can't change the system, but when you make choices, that when you buy animal products, one innocent animal is your result, is your responsibility, and they get in this position. And if you're in their shoes, you would want the other person to say stop. So you may not impact the whole system, but you will impact some animals. Some of them won't go into slaughterhouses because of you. So you can make changes, you understand? Let me give you some cards. That's it. I'll just give you one card, actually.
Where is she? She's at the food stop.
Go on this website, type in this code.
Oh, actually, I know this. I've seen this on Instagram.
Go on this website, type in this code, and watch Dominion. That's the first thing that appears, okay? Just so that you know what you're participating in. And think really if you really want to be part of it, because if you don't, you have all the resources to help you out there, okay? What's your name?
Bia.
Bia, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you, Bia.
Thank you.
What's your name? I don't want to say my
You don't want to say? That's okay. That's fair. I respect that. See, I respect your right. Let's respect everybody's rights, okay? Everybody deserves rights. Okay. Cheers. Thank you for having this conversation. Bye. Okay, everybody. That's it. That's it. My battery is at 10%, 12%, and it's gonna deplete fast. Somehow the battery did not charge it or something. Scam Chan already wants to have a debate with me. I know. Yeah, thank you so much everybody for being here. You have in the description of this video a 3-minute challenge. It takes 3 minutes out of your time. Just watch that, 3 minutes out of your time. You don't have to do anything with your life. You just have to watch it. 3-minute video and decide if that's what you want to be part of. Should you want to look more into it, there's several resources there to help you no longer be part of it. Thank you so much everybody for being here, for the donations. I appreciate you. No, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody.
See you guys.
There you go. He said goodbye to everybody. Sure, why not? Yeah. Choose to be vegan. No more animal oppression. None of this. Be on the right side of history, okay? Don't be an oppressor. Choose to be on the right side, okay? There is no middle ground for the animals. There's middle ground for us. We can choose to oppress some animals, and obviously it is better to oppress some rather than all. But that is not good still, okay? You're still in a position of oppressor. You're still oppressing animals. And to the animals that are oppressed for you, whether you do it once a month, once a week, or once a year, those animals who end up being oppressed, who end up being in a slaughterhouse, who end up being exploited for you, all those animals, all of them, will not care that you make different choices throughout your life, okay? So consider each individual. Consider them and treat them how you yourself would want to be treated. You don't want to be oppressed? Don't oppress them. You don't want to be exploited? Don't exploit them. I understand that you may think they're animals and that somehow makes them inferior. They're not. They're just like us in all the ways that matter, okay? They deserve moral consideration. They deserve the right to their own body. They have emotions. They have feelings. Imagine sending dogs to slaughterhouses. You wouldn't send a dog to a slaughterhouse. You wouldn't send a cat to a slaughterhouse. Don't send other animals to slaughterhouses, okay? They all deserve to live. And they all feel, if you were to send a dog to a slaughterhouse, they would feel exactly the same way as a cow feels when they're being sent to a slaughterhouse, okay? Respect their rights. Be a good person, okay? Go vegan. When will you be back online, asks Erwin. Erwin, tomorrow I will be doing, I will be online at 11 with doing Discord with VPM, not only on her channel, only on their channel, sorry, not her, their, on their channel, but also on mine. So I'll be live tomorrow for doing Discord. And then I'll be live again probably on Friday and Saturday. I don't know, I'll see. But the next time I'm coming tomorrow, the next time I'll be live is tomorrow doing Discord conversations. Where is the document that gives animal rights at? What are their rights? Can they vote? Listen, I'm not talking about legal rights. We all know that they don't have legal rights, okay? We're talking about moral rights, where they have the moral right to exist, to not be exploited, to exist outside of our control, you know? Just because we bring them to life doesn't mean we have the right to their life, okay? Keep that in mind. I think about it. And if you say otherwise, then I don't think you're being intellectually honest, okay? Try to put away a little bit. You know what? Just a little side exercise. Maybe you'll come back tomorrow, some of you. I hope you subscribe, by the way, some of you who've enjoyed these conversations. But as a side exercise, subscribe, come back tomorrow, okay? So as an exercise, put away what you get from this exploitation, abuse, and slaughter of animals. Put it on the side. Don't even think about if you ever have to give it up. Let's imagine that you would never have to give it up. Do you actually think that what we do to animals is moral? Do you actually think that it's okay to oppress animals? Because if you don't, then maybe you need to make changes. Okay? Thank you, everybody. My battery's running out, so I'll see you in the next one, okay? See you, everybody. Thank you so much for the donations and the moderation.